Hello everybody and welcome back to another bonus video on my channel. Sorry, I'm not getting done up for this video. I will say I voted. Today's election day. We are keeping it very low-key right now and just doing a fun video. This is a video that's actually been requested, one of my first ever requested videos, and as I was saying, for any of you who have watched any of my videos, you know that in the past few months I have moved from New Hampshire down to the Tampa Bay area. So one of the requested videos I got was, what are some date night ideas, date day ideas for since you've been in Florida? Like, what have you and Ben been up to? Here are 5 date packages, we'll say, for the Tampa Bay area. And if you want to see that, then please keep on watching. So I give like a little fake name to all of them, and then I give like 4 to 5, maybe more things that you can do while on this date. There are a range of budgets. You can obviously take things out, put things in. Some I give multiple options to, and each of them has a silly name. The first thing I want to say though is follow on TikTok the page. I will put the name here, at Stuff to Do in TB. This is a lot about how I found out of all of these spots. Is they post great places in the Tampa Bay area in general, and then every Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, they post fun things that are going on that weekend. If you're down here, check that page first. So the first date I'm going to do is the least original, and I just call it the classic Florida as far as the rest of the world like knows it date, and it's all centered around Disney, so it's out of Orlando. The first part is, obviously you can go to a park and do all of that, but saying you don't, like, let's assume you don't want to spend a couple of $100s on tickets, you can go to the park for a date, you don't need my help with that. Disney Springs is an area of Florida and of Orlando where it's a completely free, just walking area of Disney's property. So they have a lot of shops, they have a lot of restaurants, they have a lot of things to do just along this path. And again, it's not in any park, so it is free to go to. I have personally never been there, but I've heard a ton of fantastic things. So I got recommendations from someone who I know they know what they're talking about when it comes to Disney to get a few restaurants that you could stop along the way to impress the person you're taking out to your date. So the first is for a romantic setting. Maybe you're willing to spend a little bit more money, but the food is really good and the views are really good because it's on the water. It's called the Boathouse. The second is called Homecoming, and that is, maybe if you're looking for just a little more fun and experiential and, looking for good company, it's called Homecoming, and it's good Southern food, and I heard the fried chicken is really what you should be ordering if you go there. And then the last one is called Bongos, and it's a fantastic Cuban food restaurant. So this is the one I definitely know the least about, but if you're coming to the Tampa Bay area and Disney is something that you want to do, but you maybe don't want to pay the full Disney price, then that's definitely the way to go. So the second one I am calling Get to Know Tampa. So I am doing kind of the most popular things I think that everybody in the Tampa area knows about. But if you're new here, whether you just moved, these might all be things that you wouldn't know about outside of this video. So the first thing is the Riverwalk, and I will say this is a 2-mile stretch, and because I couldn't find this information anywhere online, the best places to start the Riverwalk on either side is Sparkman Wharf, which is like a culmination of shipping carts that have been turned into restaurants, like mini takeout restaurants, and there's a big beer garden there. That's the first spot you would want to park to start the Riverwalk. And then the other end is Armature Works. Those are the 2 starting points. It's a 2-mile stretch of basically you're walking along the river with beautiful views of the river, obviously, and then restaurants, shopping, a lot of people out running, lots of dogs walking. It's amazing. It's so much fun. So walk the Riverwalk and kind of just take in the sun, enjoy Tampa, and that's the best place to start. I think probably replaceable with that, because a lot of things I gave you too much to do in one day, is also Zoo Tampa. So, because I know Ben and I bought annual passes on January 4th of 2020, and it was like a $5 difference between a day pass and an annual pass. Now the online is showing differently, but it's not that expensive for an annual pass or a member pass, depending on what you want to do with it. And it is such a fun zoo. They have a big beer garden in the back of it. I know I just keep bringing up the beer gardens, but I think they're fun. It's open containers, so you're walking around all of the exhibits. If you have got kiddos, and that's a little bit of a bonus for a parent, but if you're going on a date night, it's just fun to walk around with a glass of wine while you're at the zoo looking at all the different animals. The next is very niche, but there are 2 things that you could do. One is Dog Beach and one is the Dog Bar. Both of these are obviously dog-friendly places. Ben and I have gone to both without a dog, so don't worry, you're not going to be looked at weird if you're just a dog lover like Ben and I are. Self-explanatory. One's a beach and one's a bar. The next is I highly recommend going to Ulele for lunch. It describes itself as native Florida fare. So they have everything from I know they have alligator hush puppies. There's a certain burger I'm trying to remember the name of. It's called the Ulele burger, and it's char-grilled ground short rib, brisket, and chuck blended burger, topped with steak sauce, sharp cheddar, portobello mushrooms, fire-roasted red peppers, and fried leeks served on a brioche bun. Hello, tell me if there is anything better sounding than that. If you're a vegetarian, this might not be the place to go. Then while you are there are 3 different bars around the Riverwalk that I would highly recommend visiting for one reason or another. The first is Embird. It is on top of Armature Works. The drinks are really good. They're really fair for prices, and the view is beautiful, especially at night. The next is Armature Works, which is just kind of where Embird is. There's a lot of different bars throughout there. I haven't been to all of them, but I know Armature Works is just a fantastic spot to go. It's the center of a lot of different big events happening, so even if you're just going for a drink, you might stumble onto something really fun like an outdoor movie going on that you could go to as well. And the last one is Stone's Throw, which is a bar I just went to for the first time. It's all outdoor, it's a stone's throw away from the river, and I would highly recommend getting the vodka blackberry lemonade. The third one is, I called it Kind of Fun, Kind of Fresh, just because it's like a more quirky date. So this one takes place in Ybor City, and I would say start at Samurai Blue if you're a sushi fan. They have a fantastic sushi menu. It's definitely very modern and very different. It's centered right in the middle of downtown, but it still has this kind of quiet romantic feel to it, and their white sangria is fantastic. I highly recommend it. Following that, I would say go to the Hippo if you're looking for desserts. It's spelled Hyppo, and it is gourmet ice pops made out of Tampa or St. Petersburg, and they are just fantastic, and I think they have over 60 flavors, so you will find something there that you like. Ben got mojito last time, and I got mango peach, and they were both really good. The next is, and this sounds nuts, but if you haven't been to Ybor City, this will surprise you a little bit. Go look for some chickens. There is a big historical aspect of Ybor City, and I wish I could go into it, but you can Google it if you want to learn more, where there are just chickens all over the city, and it is so much fun. They live very peacefully with the people. You're not supposed to feed them or anything, but last time Ben and I were there was a lot of chicks that had just been born, and it just added a fun little quirk to the date night that we weren't expecting. So the next one is very niche, and it's not something I'm a part of, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. If you are at all a cigar person, Ybor City is apparently a big central place in Florida for the making of cigars. Again, that's not really something I take part in, but from what I've heard, there are a lot of cigar bars all throughout Ybor City. And so if that's your kind of thing, it seems like it's a very cool thing to do to go to this spot because it's very important historically for cigars, I suppose. And then the last thing that's really cool in this area is Ybor City has a lot of spooky ghost tours. A lot of the city is very old and hasn't really been restored or redone. Again, I haven't done this yet, so I can't 10 out of 10 recommend it, but the reviews are fantastic and we keep trying to go. But it's just really late at night and it's COVID and, for all of these other reasons, we haven't gone yet. But there are spooky ghost tours that are starting as low as $20 a person. They do go up from there. So the next 2 dates are in my favorite area of the Tampa Bay area, and that is St. Petersburg. The first one I am calling the Morning Sweeties kind of date. And it's just because there is so much fun stuff that is always going on in St. Pete, especially during Sunday brunch. Now, St. Pete is very good for Sunday brunch. The 2 places I could recommend are Cassis and the Mill, and both of those have mimosa deals if that's your kind of thing, like a bottomless mimosa kind of situation. So I would highly recommend starting the day with that and then going right to Sunken Gardens. Now this is a beautiful Florida fauna and floral kind of spot right in the middle of the city. It's kind of odd how you leave and you enter it and you just automatically feel peaceful, but you're still kind of in the middle of everything. I highly recommend the tickets are not very expensive for what you're seeing when you go in. If your person is very big on photos, especially if you two together, this is a great spot to go to take some memories, take in some beauty of Florida, especially if you're a visitor to see a lot of plants that you maybe don't see when you're home. The next is rent bikes or scooters, which are all pretty new to downtown St. Pete, and take it down Straub Park by the Vinoy and Beach Drive. These are very beautiful areas where you're not quite in downtown anymore, so you're not facing as many stop signs, red lights, all of that stuff. And you just get to take a very smooth ride down by beaches, volleyball courts, palm trees, by the park, by a big area called the Vinoy. It's a hotel where weddings are always happening, if that's the kind of thing you like to see. and go for a bike ride down there. And that's like a nice little morning date where if it's kind of like a half day and you don't have a lot of time, you can definitely fit that all in the span of like 4 hours, I would say. And then the last one I am calling the Everything Romantic Adventure. And I am only calling it that because these are some of me and Ben's favorite things to do when we are in downtown St. Pete. So we start with dinner at Hawker's. That is an Asian street fair restaurant in St. Petersburg. Ben always gets the yaki udon and the bao buns, and I always get they call it the roti. It's a type of like egg bread with a curry sauce. It's like a $1.99 add-on. Go for it. With their Thai chili naked chicken wings. And a lot of their drinks are fantastic as well. They have good stuff on tap if that's kind of what you're going for. So the next thing I would say to do, and it might be smart to actually do this before dinner, is to go shopping on the 600 block. This is just my shout out to the local businesses in the area that I think are worth every tourist local stopping by. I would say Miss Red, Boutique, and Shoreline Sugars are 3 places you absolutely have to go and check out. Beautiful spot, take your person shopping. I will say all 3 of these, no, Boutique has some male identifying clothes, but the rest is all female identifying. So if that's not really your thing, you can skip the shopping, but those are all super fun and I highly recommend going. And Book and Bottle, which is a wine store, a cafe, and you can get books there, just saying. The next is there are so many fun bars in downtown St. Petersburg, and you could hit a lot of different types of vibes with this. The other night, Ben and I went to a place called Second and Second and got a mimosa flight and french fries. That is only the beginning. The dog bar is in downtown St. Pete if you want to go watch some dogs. There's a place called Ferg's that is just a normal sports bar, but it's very big and there are hundreds of TVs and their wings are incredible. And then the last 2 I'll recommend are Parks and Rec, which is a games bar basically. They have everything from cornhole to old style video games, and you can do that while you're having a drink at the bar. And a place called Pour, where they give you a wristband and you can try little samples of everything all night, pour full glasses, and they just take your band at the end of the night and that's how they charge you. So you can kind of do that try a little bit of everything kind of vibe. And then the last part of this date, I will say, is going to the pier. Now the pier, for anyone who lives in the area, has been under construction for years. It has finally opened back up and it has dozens of restaurants and things to do along the pier. There's a massive playground. There is a pumpkin patch right now. There is a bar at the end called Bar Tiki. That's another rooftop bar, but it's at the end of this beautiful pier. And so it's just absolutely stunning and so much fun. So I would highly recommend ending the night there. The only bonus I'll throw in is if you're in St. Pete, November or December, there are usually horse-drawn carriages that are going by all of the beautiful Christmas lights. If you are there in that time of year, I highly recommend doing that as well. So I know this video was just full of a lot of date ideas. I hope this helps somebody in the area. Please comment down below if you've been to any of these places. If you want to go to any of these places, I would love to hear your thoughts. And I will see you next Monday. Bye, guys.